Okay, let's talk about domestic kanojo, aka domestic girlfriend. And I just read the final few chapters of the manga. I want to say I read around maybe 10 of them. 10 chapters. I guess it'll be soon. I read about 10 chapters. And I'll be real. I took a break. I binged through the first, 260 chapters. I'm pretty sure it's 276 long. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I binged through the first 260 chapters, and I'll tell you, the chapter I ended on was the big reveal with, I'm so bad with names. The serial killer, the guy. Okay. We'll start off, I'll give you a quick summary. Domestic Girlfriend is a show about a boy who sleeps with a random girl he doesn't know, and has a crush on his teacher, and then his dad remarries, and his two new stepsisters are his teacher and the girl he slept with. And hijinks ensue. He ends up getting married. Well, he proposes to his stepsister, the one he slept with, Rui, and he had slept with Hina before, but they broke up. But she still loves Natsuo, who's the main character. So Rui's pregnant, and Natsuo makes it big. He writes a big hit book, and he's a famous author, right? He's a famous author. And now, what confuses me is, this journalist, right? We're shown he's like having a rough time, at work. Nobody really likes him. He's known for being a bit of a sleazeball. He's not nobody likes him. Nobody likes him, and he doesn't do good work. He's at like a low point in his life, right? Well, we are given little to no time to develop his character or give him a reason why he would do this. But he starts to he gets a letter from a random person about a story, and that person is the stalker of Hina-chan, who is Natsuo's stepsister. She is the older one and the teacher. He gets a letter from him, and he had tried to stab Hina, but accidentally stabbed Natsuo, and he was in prison. And then he convinces him to write a story about incest, basically, the relationship between Natsuo and his teacher. And he does, and he pays for this photo of them kissing, and he writes this big story. And Hina-chan gets involved, and she stops him basically with, threatens him with lawsuits, and there's no evidence for what he says. Of course, the story is true, but the editor and all doesn't know that, so he can't actually make any of those claims. He can't make any of the claims. And, it's... So Hina deals with that, right? And then he gets drunk, the journalist, and he gets really angry, and he gets in a truck, and Hina-chan is walking home with Rui. They're going to a restaurant, about to order food, and he shows up in his truck and boom, tries to ram into both of them. Hina pushes Rui away, and she gets hit by a truck. But she survives. Everybody's in the hospital. They're like, "Oh my god, this is horrible." She survives it. Okay, she survives, and she's in a vegetable state. She's in a coma. Her brain is no good because she hit the ground too hard whenever she was hit by a truck. So Rui and Natsuo decide to cancel the wedding, because they find out Hina-chan really loved Natsuo. And then Rui, there's this really awkward scene where it's like Rui is like, "Do you like me?" He's like, "Yeah, I love you." And then she's like, "Yeah, me too." And they're smiling at each other. I'm so confused. She's pregnant. and they decide to break up, I think. It's very confusing. Anyway, at the end of the chapter, we get a 5-year time skip. 5 years. Just in an instant. Just bam. 5 years. Oh, Jesus. We get a 5-year time skip. And Natsuo is a stay-at-home dad writing books, and they have a daughter called Haruka, and she is 4 or 5, and she goes to preschool, and they're looking after Hina-chan. They live together. Rui works as a chef, but they're like not together. Anyway, Rui works as a chef, and Hina is still a vegetable, and they're taking care of her while she's in a coma, and the daughter is taking care of her as well, and it's really confusing. Well, how do they explain this to her daughter? And the daughter acts like she treats her like a doll, basically. It's really confusing. So Natsuo is in love with Hina again, and he loves Rui and Hina, but he loves Hina more because she was his first love. And so he leaves this ring on the bed, and the next morning the child finds it and puts it on Hina's finger, and that wakes her up from her coma. Oh yeah, there was this really weird scene where Rui asked Natsuo to think about getting married to Hina while she was in a coma. So anyway, she wakes up from the coma, Hina, and then next chapter we find out that Rui is moving away with Haruka, and that Hina and Natsuo are both a couple now again, and they sleep together. So that's nice. They're a couple again, and they stay together, and they look after Haruka as if she was her own child, their own child. What she is Natsuo's child, but she isn't Hina's. And it's just a very confusing family situation. Rui's away most of the time, I'm pretty sure. And then at the end of the manga, Natsuo marries Hina-chan. And Rui's there, and all the characters we've come to love over the 276 chapters are there. Let me tell you, I do not like this ending. It is shit. It is a shit ending to the series. They should have just ended it with Natsuo and Rui getting married, like they were supposed to. And all the development was leading up to that. And, oh my god, it was so bad. I'd recommend going and checking out the original manga. I've kind of just spoiled the ending for you, but there's a lot of good stuff to find in it. It is not good. Not a good ending at all. I really enjoyed the manga. The beginning of the manga was bad, and the ending was bad, but the middle I really liked. Like seeing Natsuo grow as a person, and his writing career develop. His relationship with Togen Sensei, his writing, I guess, instructor was really, really cool to see, and it was really sad. And yeah, those were my thoughts. It was shit. It was shit. Like, what the fuck? So he's in a relationship with Rui and Hina-chan? I don't understand.